This is the voice of Julian Berrian, welcoming you to another special radio edition of CSC Chat. Joining us today is Jalen Little, the recently hired head coach of the Chadron State College women's basketball team. A native of Colorado, Jalen played Division I NCAA basketball as a starting point guard at Abilene Christian University in Texas. He later served as assistant men's basketball coach here at Chadron State before relocating to Colorado State University, Pueblo, to help lead its women's basketball team to 4 consecutive RMAC tournaments. Now, Jalen Little is back in Chadron and poised to coach the Chadron State College women's basketball team through what promises to be an exciting 2025-2026 season. Coach Little, welcome to CSC Chat.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Now, Coach, I formulated some of these questions, but my students formulated the lion's share of the questions. So the first question that I'm going to ask was submitted by Fernan Navarro. Fernan wants to know, when and how did you first discover your passion for basketball?
Everybody wants to put a number on it or age on it, but it started really young for me. My father and my brother played. My older brother's 10 years older than me. He played at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, so in our conference. So I grew up around it. My father actually played professional soccer. So I grew up in a sports-minded family, early on. And lucky for me, I got to see the little rivalry of Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson, and I took more towards the Allen Iverson side because I was a smaller build. He had the heart of a lion, of course, so that was easy for me to fall in love with. The crossover, right, with the arm sleeve. So for him, I'm a huge Allen Iverson fan, so my love for basketball kind of grew from him.
And Allen's one of my favorite players because I grew up in Philadelphia, and so he was a mainstay in Philadelphia news and on Philadelphia sports TV, and we all loved AI. The next question was formulated by Elijah Hernandez, and Elijah asks, what brought about your return to Chadron State College to coach women's basketball?
I always wanted to return back here. It's a place where I found my coaching voice. I felt comfortable, especially in the community. It's a close-knit community, so it's easy for me as I'm growing and we're building as a family for me to bring my family back here because I want them to grow up in a safe, fun environment also. And safety piece was huge for me for them. We're on the road. I want to make sure they're in a safe place. Helps me do my job. Makes it easier for everybody else, in my opinion.
And that's a great segue into the next question formulated by yours truly, Julian Berrian. I know you coached men's basketball here, at Chadron, before going to Pueblo, Colorado, and, of course, coming back. How do you approach coaching and instructing women's basketball versus men's basketball? Because I know that fundamentally the game is the same,
right,
but what are some nuances, some differences between how you would coach a women's team and a men's team?
First and foremost, I'm trying to, form a servant leader culture. That's big for me. I want to obviously give more than we get back. That's just how I operate. The men's side's a lot more egos. I'll be honest. So it's nice not to, deal with those egos as much, but you got to be way sharper on the women's side because they're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. So if I draw up a play and I don't, say something about the timing of it, something might happen too soon. If I end up not adding a detail that I think they should know, it doesn't end up happening and we end up with an empty possession. So I'm big on, being sharp, and I want our girls to play, with a free mind. But as long as I'm sharp, I think that makes their job a lot easier.
Oh, no doubt about that. And I mean, I figure, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, since the women's game is mostly below the rim,
right,
they work more on the fundamentals. Is that correct?
For sure. Yep. Shooting's a lot better on the women's side for sure. But there's girls ripping it now. They're tearing the rim down now. So I don't know how much longer it'll be played below the rim. It'll be played above the rim here soon, but wow, yeah, you hit on the head.
The next question was formulated by Alec Thieman. Alec Thieman asks, what is your general idea of defense? Is it to get stops or steals?
I guess those two go hand in hand. I'm defensive-minded. When I played at Abilene Christian, our coaching tree was that Chris Beard tree, was at Texas Tech. So we get up, we deny. We want to take away teams, first option, those ball reversals. Of course, we want to limit those. So if we can get stops from steals, obviously that's what we want to do. But, in order to get another stop, we got to be a great rebounding team. And if we can't rebound it, we can't run.
Okay, I heard that. On the offensive end, do you run a motion offense, a set offense, or something a little different?
I'm finding out more and more about my team. So I had to bring in 12 girls in, 30 days. So a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I found out we'll probably be better in the continuity ball screen, offense, and then throwing some quick hitters throughout that are unpredictable. So I'll just keep learning my team, and we'll figure it out.
And I'm going to throw this one in. What is the most difficult part of being a new coach? I mean, you've been in this environment before,
right?
Okay, but being a new coach and running the entire show, what's the learning curve like? I mean, how many sleepless nights did you have to spend just breaking down everything?
Luckily for me, I've coached with two unbelievable head coaches, so they have prepared me for this moment. But on Saturday and Sunday, it was an adrenaline rush. It was fun, actually. It's probably the most fun I've had. I never thought I'd say that, but I had a ton of fun, coaching up this group this past weekend. But I felt like I was ready for it. Of course, it's a learning curve. I'm still going to make my mistakes, and I ain't perfect. There's only one perfect man to walk this earth.
Indeed. All right. In your view, and this question was brought to us by Saul Reyes, Saul asks, in your view, what is the most important aspect of team success in the short term and long term?
Short-term wise, team success to me, as long as I'm building championship habits on and off the floor, I'm doing my job. I want to make sure they come in every day with that mentality to just be their best. We talk about no B+ work. I want to make sure they're doing, A+ work, on a daily basis. Again, it's tough to be perfect, but as long as we get A's, I can live with it. And, just stacking days. If we can just stack days, in the short term, those will take care of our long-term goals. So long-term goal-wise for me, degrees. That's what they're here to get in college, right? They need that college degree. That's what we really, emphasize in our program. If you aren't here to get a degree, it's probably not the program for you. And we're preparing them for adversity that, that comes along in life. Everybody goes through adversity, but it's how you respond to it. So long-term wise, just want to prepare them for that adversity that's coming up.
Okay, there you have it. And that brings us to our next question by Stella Jones-Hazledine. And Stella asks, what is the most rewarding part of coaching, in your opinion?
For me, it's the calls. I just got a call, 2 days ago from my former players on the men's side and the women's side, which is crazy. It happened on the same day. But, they're asking for letters of recommendation because they're looking to get the next job. They're looking to, build their resumes up. And, for me, that's rewarding because I remember the work that they put in. The calls are great to hear, especially when you tell them something, during college that ends up happening later on. And they're like, I remember when you told me this. So that's always fun. And you get some DMs or you see some of those stories on social media, them, still playing ball or, growing with their families. That's something that's super rewarding for me.
Awesome. And that brings us near the end of this episode of CSC Chat Special Radio Edition. But I'd be remiss, Coach, if I didn't ask you to tell our audience, our listening audience, how it can get more information about the Chadron State women's basketball team and how it can go about supporting the team during this season.
Follow us on Instagram and X, C as in cat, S as in Sam, C as in cat, Eagles, WBB.
Okay, excellent. Coach Jalen Little, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And I'd like to thank you, the listeners, for tuning into this special radio edition of CSC Chat. Today's program was co-produced by Jadon, Elijah Hernandez, Stella Jones-Hazledine, Jadon Monahan, Fernan Navarro, Saul Reyes, and Alec Thieman.